I mean, I guess we gotta go on and get on with the show then, right? Look, it's your boy Taz, and this is the intro podcast. Thank you guys again for checking this out. Usually I would be giving a shout out to my co-host JR, but unfortunately for this particular show, he's not with us because it's early in the morning and he's probably home sleep, getting ready to get up for work. Shout out to all the listeners, all the supporters. Thank you guys for just being a part of what we're doing, giving us a reason to want to do this every single week. If you've been listening to some of our more current shows, you've noticed that we have started a shift in the content that we are delivering. Yes, we're still, the funny, happy-go-lucky, talking about celebrity life and Hollywood and all this other stuff, but we've shifted a little bit into talking about real-life situations that real-life people deal with. Me personally, a lot of the things that we've been talking about lately are things that I am dealing with right now. And people would ask, why would you want to do something like that, Taz? It's simple. I've learned in my life that there are people who are probably dealing with the same thing right now, or somebody down the line is going to be dealing with something that I'm dealing with, or something that I'm sharing, that I'm talking about, and don't know that it's been dealt with and there's a way out. Sometimes I know whenever I first start dealing with something for the first time, in the back of my mind, I'm like, how long is this going to last, or why is it lasting this long in the first place? And does it ever stop? And I'm not going to lie, you get to the point to where sometimes you're like, this is too much. I can't deal with this. I can't take this no more. But then I'll hear a song, or I'll hear a sermon preached at my church that I am a member of in Tulsa, Oklahoma, Transformation Church, Pastor Michael Todd. Hey, check him out on YouTube. Check out that ministry. They're dope. But I'll hear a word that deals with what I'm dealing, that speaks on what I'm dealing with right now, and it makes things brighter. It makes things not necessarily easier to go through, but it makes it more. It makes it make sense, because not only do they talk about the problem, but they talk about the solution. A lot of things that Michael Todd preaches about, he'll relate it to himself, he'll relate it to his family, how they deal with it, and he'll let you know how this is how I dealt with it and where I'm at right now. So we've decided to shift a little bit in the content that we are giving you guys on this podcast, because although we want to make you laugh, we want to make you better too. There's often a saying that hurt people hurt people. Well, heal people heal people. And I'm on my journey of heal. I'm on my journey of healing. And while I'm on my journey of healing, I want to be able to be that for someone else. The intro wants to be that for all the listeners. So yeah, we have a shift in content. Today, though, I want to talk about, like I say, a lot of things that I'm talking about for however long are things that I'm dealing with personally. Today, I'm going to talk about how I'm dealing with rejection. Let's say it again, how I'm dealing with rejection. This is not guaranteed to work for you, but if you're dealing with it and you don't have any blueprint, then just listen to a little bit of what I say and apply it piece by piece. And for everything that you see work, apply a little bit more. I'm 41 years old. And I will say, for the most part of my life, rejection has played a major role. Whether it was in school, whether it was in church, whether it was in family, whether it was in friends, I've dealt with a lot of rejection. And one thing that I learned about rejection is whenever you're going through it, the first thing that hit me is, Taz, you're not enough. Taz, you're inadequate. Taz, there's something wrong with you for these people to not want to be around you, whoever they are. Well, why does rejection hurt so much? Being turned down by a friend, hiring manager, or even a partner is painful. This it's called rejection trauma for a reason. The agony that you feel is genuine. Whether you're experiencing hurt caused by rejection or cutting your finger, the same area of your brain activates when you're processing this information. Beyond the physical sensation, rejection also strikes at our need for acceptance and belonging. Humans are social creatures and desire to be connected and desire to connect development through evolution. Beginning when humans lived together as hunter-gatherer groups, individuals easily integrated into tribes and were more likely to survive and produce. Those that couldn't forge close bonds with others were more likely to be abandoned and viewed as outcasts. Over time, the need to be included became hardwired into the human brain. When rejection happens, conditions don't mesh with our evolutionary needs, causing anxiety and self-doubt. You're not emotional or weak if you experience these feelings if someone is not in your presence. It's just a part of life. The emotional reaction to personal disappointment isn't under your control, but how you respond to the situation is under your control. You're not the reason for the rejection, but how you respond to the rejection is a major thing. The 5 stages of rejection. Before you can accept your feelings, it helps to understand rejection. From an emotional standpoint, coming to terms with rejection is a process much like grieving. As you process your feelings, you'll move from one phase to the other until you have eventually passed the thoughts and feelings of anger, disappointment, and self-doubt you're experiencing to move beyond the situation and find peace. In other words, there's a process. You have to be willing to go through that feeling. I tell everybody that I meet that's going through something, whether it's grieving or, again, dealing with rejection or dealing with losing people, you are allowed to feel your feels. And I'll never, ever tell you not to. Feel your feels, because that will help you not necessarily speed up the process, but it'll make the process more worth it, because you're able to get things out rather than suppressing it because you don't want to have people look at you a certain way, or you don't want to feel a certain way while you're going through it. No, feel your feels. Feel them, I promise you. The amount of time you spend on each phase of rejection depends on you and your situation. Some may pass quickly, others less. The important thing is to be patient with yourself. There's no optimal rate for getting over rejection. Here are 5 phases of rejection. Number 1 is denial. Your first reaction to discovering someone is turning you down will be disbelief. There must be some mistake. You deserve this person's regard and respect, so you might feel something's just off. For me, I felt like whenever the people that are close to me in my family started rejecting me, I was like, no. Like, I would expect people in the world to treat me the way that you guys are treating me. I'm not gonna lie. I was in denial because I was like, no, y'all the people that whenever everyone is together, we love each other. We show it. But whenever everyone goes to their own little separate places, I never hear from nobody. And no, let me put this out. It's not me playing the victim at all. This is real life situation, and there's proof behind it. But I don't want people thinking that whenever you go through this process, you're playing the victim, or don't let nobody tell you that you're playing the victim. Feel what you feel. Number 2, anger. That's denial, and once you realize that your rejection isn't a misunderstanding, you move on to feeling angry. Once you realize the person spurring you isn't recognizing the error of their ways, you might be mad. At this point, you might be tempted to go off on the person rejecting you. Don't do it. Ultimately, venting your negative emotions at them will only cause more hurt to yourself. Take a deep breath and work to calm yourself down. This is a situation where you need to let cooler heads prevail and try to manage your anger. True story. About 2 months ago, I was in the hospital with some major health conditions. And I had a procedure done. All my family knew about it, brothers included. I got probably one auntie and one uncle out of everyone that's in my family that knew about it, which was over 20, 30 people. Nobody responded. Nobody called. Nobody texted. Nobody came to see about me. That point, I was sad because I was like, I'm the person that's there for everybody. You're the person in your family or in your circle that's there for everybody. So why, whenever I'm in need, whenever you're in need of that same community to be that for you, you don't get it? For me, it started off sad, but then 2 weeks later, my sadness turned into anger because someone else in my family was in a really bad health situation also. And I saw family reach out, take off work, travel coming from afar, sending videos, sending text messages, doing everything that they could to let this person see, I see you and I'm worried about you. I'm concerned about you. But I'm thinking to myself, when it was me, I get nothing. But if it was somebody else in the family and I had to be the person to check on you, I was that. You were that to somebody else. I understand you were. But it seems like now that you need that attention, it's not there. Yeah, it starts off sad because you want to get an understanding as to why this is so. But whenever you see the same people reaching out to somebody else and doing everything that they can, yes, it turns into anger, and you want to go the hell off on everybody involved. Because trust me, I wanted to turn the hospital and the cell phones and people's cards upside down. Even to the point to where my older brother sent out a message about, everybody who had been to the hospital and who was doing the right family thing, the responsibility. And not only did he not mention me at all, but he mentioned people who had never even been to the hospital, had never ever been anywhere. But then I had to think about the fact that, let's do a side disclaimer. For me, a lot of my family don't really deal with me like that because they don't agree with the fact that I'm a part of the LGBTQ community. I don't care. I love who I love. Y'all pretend to love who y'all with. So that's where the main basis of my rejection come from, because I'm not going to do like everybody want me to do and be miserable. Because when I did that, I tried to end me. Okay, so let's go down. Bargaining, number 3. You'll get to the point where you begin to think that the person who disappointed you did so because of a faulty assumption or lack of information. You'll think that you could just talk to them and you'll win them over. This phase easily devolves into something frightening for you and the other person if you let it. You need to give the person who turned you down space. They don't owe you an explanation for their rejection, but for the sake of your future relationship, you should both choose to have one. You need to accept their decision with grace. I am at a point now to where I was talking to someone yesterday, and I was like, I'm at the point now to where I'm cool with it. Treat me the way you want to treat me. Look, because it's one thing to go back, have the apology, and have changed behavior. It's a whole nother thing to go back, have the apology, and have changed behavior, but only for a day or so, or in my case, for 2 weeks. But then everything reverts right back to that same rejection. It's okay. I promise it is. It's not as bad as you think. Because, like, I was in the mindset of trying to figure out, okay, I was sending text messages. I was trying to be everything. I was trying to bargain. I was trying to be everything that everybody wanted at this moment, because I was like, if I can make it and I can allow them to see that I'm trying, maybe this will work out. And whenever this person is out of the hospital, we'll continue this community that we are redeveloping family-wise. Excuse me. Absolutely didn't happen. This one is real. Depression. Rejection comes with a tangled knot of emotion. On top of feeling angry and disappointed, you're sad, embarrassed, confused, hurt, or all of the above. Your self-confidence has taken a hit, and you may be questioning your worth. All these feelings are valid responses to rejection that might lead you to feelings of depression. Now is when you need to pull out all the stops and do your self-care stuff. Things that you know you can do to make you smile and make you feel better. Burn candles, take a bubble bath, surround yourself with friends, whatever gives you a sense of comfort. Once you feel confident, begin examining your feelings to identify which emotions are driving your depression and make plans to address them. It could be as simple as reminding yourself why you are a wonderful human being and all of the people who love you and value you. For me, let's go to the top of that paragraph. Once you feel confident, examine your feelings. Let's go a little bit more. Now is the time that you need to pull the stops for your self-care routine. Burn candles, take bubble baths, surround yourself with people who care about you or give you a sense of comfort. For me, I had to completely remove myself from around these people. And I had to start doing things that made me smile. Even though I had to do things with myself, only for myself and by myself, with myself. I had to find my level of happy on my own, because trying to find somebody else to be that for me, I learned really, really fast. It don't exist right now. Which is why you need to have a routine that you do for yourself at least once a week. If you like me, every 2 days, every day, take out an hour, take out 30 minutes of your day to do something, so that whenever you need to know or need to have something to do to keep you from being depressed, to keep you from being sad, or to keep anxiety away, you know what your go-to is, because this is something that I do every day and it makes me happy. It says, once you feel confident, begin examining your feelings to identify which emotions are driving your depression and make plans to address them. I automatically knew why I felt the way I felt. because I had just given every bit of me. I had just given time every single day, going to work, working a full overnight shift and going straight to the hospital, giving information, picking people up, picking up food. I realized what got me into the point to where I told you a complete transparency to where I didn't even want to be here no more. Let's just be real about it. Because for me, while everybody needed something from me, I was the best person in the world. Phone was ringing, text messages, and we need you to do this. Can you come up here? Can you pick up the papers? Can you contact this person? Can you do X, Y, Z? Think about whenever you're in your situation and you have full acceptance from everybody. 9 out of 10, it's because you are doing what everybody need you to do at that time. But the depression comes after you've done all of that and things are getting back to normal. You, for a lack of better words, you got used to that energy of having people need you or people call you or people wanting you around. You got used to that. So whenever, like I say, when everybody starts getting better and the situation starts to improve and your phone don't ring no more, you don't get the text messages, you don't get the response to your text messages, nor the call back from your phone call. The first thing that dropped in my mind is you were only enough for that time. You were only valuable at that time. But now that everything is better, although you're still that same person with that same knowledge, with that same heart, with that same car, with that same whatever, you're no longer valuable, Troy, Taz. And depression hit me so hard that I wanted to be like, okay, since y'all don't see me anyway, bye. I'm just saying. True transparency, bye. And it's just one of those situations where you have to figure out how to avoid, or not even not avoid it, but just deal with it before the depression gets too hard. Which is why it's important, as I said, to have a routine that even though you feel the depression, you can do something that can slowly take you out of it. I was one of the people a while ago that whenever I would get depressed, my go-to was drinking. No lie. But then I learned during that time that only heightened whatever the feeling was I had, that alcohol just heightened it. So if I was already sad and crying and wishing I wasn't around no more, all that alcohol made me want to do is feel that even more, or sometimes carry out actions that didn't agree with my destiny. So I had to figure out other ways to maneuver so that I can live another day, to be honest with you. Next one, acceptance. Now that your emotions have rebounded and you're feeling more like the old you, self-confidence, you're feeling like your old confident self, it's time to take a critical look at the situation. Maybe the rejection stemmed from the fact that you weren't a good fit or other factors beyond your control. You may spot a mistake you made and know it's a learning opportunity. It's also possible that you will never fully understand why and how that situation even started. Regardless, you've learned and grown from the experience. Now you understand the process, and it's time that you face the rejection. You'll be a better person when you recognize it and understand how to deal with it. I've accepted it. Accept it, listener. Accept it, viewer. Because trying to constantly make yourself be what they want you to be will only put you in a worse off situation, because which goes back to previous shows, the rejection turns into toxicity then, because you put yourself in situations to where you have to fake the funk to be something to make them want to be around you again. Which is hella uncomfortable, because while you're doing that, yeah, everything is good and everything is great, but in the back of your mind, you're wondering, how long is this good feeling gonna last? How long are they going to keep on calling? How long are they going to text? How long are they going to invite me over? How long am I going to have this energy before I'm right back to square one again? So accept the fact that it's not necessarily your fault. Some people are just damn dumb. Some people just don't mean you any good. Some people will never get why you are who you are. Let me say it again. Some people will never they'll never understand why you are the person you are. So instead of us trying to be something that we know we're not, to avoid the rejection, allow them to reject you and move on. Yes, I know it's hard, and you probably looking at your phone or your computer, and you like, what in the hell are you saying, Taz? No, allow them to reject you, because at least you know now where you stand with them. And you now have the opportunity to make decisions moving forward, whether or not you answer a call when they need you. Let me put a dot right there. When they need you. Because 9 out of 10, you were only getting phone calls from the get-go because something happened and they needed what you do. They needed who you are. They needed what you offer. In my situation, had that incident never happened, stemming from me, keeping in mind, just getting out of the hospital 2 weeks earlier from a serious situation where nobody reached out. Nobody came. Nobody cared enough to say, are you still alive? Or why are you having the operation? Or what's going on? So to avoid that, I had to accept the fact that these people just, I was talking to somebody yesterday, and I was like, I have accepted the fact that my brothers just don't give a damn. Regardless to the fact that they're blood or not, I have accepted the fact that they don't care. You have to get to the point in your life to where you just have to accept the fact that people that you want around you or people that you think supposed to be a certain way with you or for you, accept the fact that them Negroes don't give a damn until it's something that they need from you, or in my situation, don't want other people outside to know how they really treat me. So when everybody get together, it's happy-go-lucky, and we the best of the best of brothers. We the best. We talking, we communicating, we promising everything. My oldest brother, whenever this last situation happened, we were at the hospital and he was around some other people and he was like, anything you need, let me know because I know you're going to be up here at the hospital. You're going to be driving, yada, 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 yada. I say, okay, this is what I need, bro. Keep it in mind. It's been about 2 years since he had even spoke to me in the first place. But hey, if you going to put on the front in front of people, I'm gonna call your bluff. I told him, I say, well, since I'm going to be driving up here from where I live or from work, it's not a close distance, so I'm going to need some gas. Give me some money. He was like, okay, I'm going to cash app you. Cool. So what ends up happening is 2-3 days later, there was no cash app. And I was at the hospital every day. Well, we had the text line going. And in the text, you know, keeping in mind, he had just gave credit to everybody in the family for being at the hospital, even those who had never, ever went, and that never mentioned the fact that I've been there since day one. I mean, the nigga just don't like me. But I remembered, bro, you said whatever I needed. So I knew the only way I was going to get this from him is I had to put him on Front Street. So in the text message with all the family members, I was like, oh, remember you said if I needed anything to let you know. Remember I told you I needed gas money. So I automatically knew that because everybody saw this message, I knew that he was going to say yes. Because you don't want people to know that you really are an ass and you really don't care. Don't be surprised whenever you are around a lot of people, the rejection doesn't even seem like it exists. It doesn't exist around a lot of people because the people that are rejecting you don't want everybody else to know that they don't give a damn. It's their responsibility for themselves to make sure that they look good at all times. So whatever they have to do to make that look like it's supposed to look, they do it. In my case, hey, I need money. I know you're going to fake the funk in front of these folk and say, yeah, which is exactly what he did. But today, at this point, because after everything cleared up, well, not necessarily cleared up, but after the situation started getting better, I noticed how the communication with myself and them just got little by little by little by little to where it turned into absolutely nothing all over again. No calls, no text messages, no nothing. Went by the house, whatever. Nigga looked at me, just turns around and walks away. Then they put me in situations to where financially I'm having to maneuver and figure things out because they just messed up my whole financial situation. But I've accepted the fact that this is who they are. I've accepted the fact that this is how they feel. You, again, have to accept the fact that the people who are rejecting you, that's just who they are. You can choose to still be around them if you want to, but you just have to get to the point to where I understand you don't care. You don't want me around unless other people are around. You don't even see me unless we're in a group of people. Funny story. My oldest brother never would claim me one-on-one, but if I'm ever somewhere and I have to sing, he'll get up before I sing and let them know my younger brother is about to get up and sing. But after I sing, no communication. He uses my voice for coochie coupons. And I've gotten to the point to where I've accepted that's just who he is. Do I decide to still be around that energy? Hell no. Because the one thing you don't want to do while all of this is going on is become bitter. And not accepting the person for being who they are, who they've showed you, and constantly going around them, expecting something different. expecting one day that this rejection will turn into acceptance makes you look dumb, makes you look stupid. And it's rough words, but it's real reality. We can't expect people to change their minds about us if we don't change us into who they want us to be. We have to understand, again, and accept the fact that this is who they are. Let's recap right fast. Dealing with rejection. First of all, you have to find out why it hurts to be rejected. The 5 stages to rejection. Number 1 is denial. Number 2 is anger. Number 3 is bargaining. Number 4 is depression. And number 5 is acceptance. Where are you on that spectrum right now? How do you feel about where you are and what you're dealing with right now when it comes down to that? I know me. I know where I am. I know where I was. I know where I want to be. I'm nowhere near where I want to be. But I'm glad that whenever this first started happening to me, I'm not there either. Rejection no longer makes me want to die. Rejection no longer makes me, well, I'm not going to say that. Rejection does sometimes still make me feel invisible, but I'm getting better. Rejection does still sometimes make me feel inadequate, but I'm getting better. I can talk about it now. That should have been one of the steps. I'm talking about it now. I'm not holding it in. I'm not holding it in no more. I'm free. I'm freeing myself even through this particular show. I'm freeing myself so that I can live. Deal with it before it deals with you. This is your boy Taz. This was a special episode of the intro podcast. Yes, it's just me, but I wanted you guys to get a peek into what's going on in my little life, and hopefully something was said that can help you, or if you know someone that's dealing with this rejection, depression, anxiety situation, you would send this particular show to them. My next solo show with me by myself, we are going to further talk about this. And we are going to be discussing. Today we discussed the stages of rejection. Next up, we're going to discuss how to deal with rejection. Y'all want a peep show? Number 1 is recognizing that rejection is a part of life. I'm not even going no further. It's a part of life. We're going to be rejected. We're going to be rejected. Comment wherever you're listening to this. If you're listening to it on a podcast, iHeartRadio, Spotify, YouTube, or Apple, you can go to our Facebook page, the Intro Podcast, and I have a cover with the title of the show. You can comment under that title. If you're listening on Facebook or Instagram or whatever, let us know how you feel about it. Let us know if you've dealt with rejection and how you dealt with it. You want to talk about it? I'll include a link to where you can click the link and you can send us a voice message. And I'll include your voice message on the next show. You don't have to leave your name or anything, but let us know, or let the listeners know, let the world know how you deal or how you have had to deal with rejection. It's completely up to you, but you never know. Your story may help somebody. It's your boy Taz. This is the Intro Podcast. Thank you guys for being a part of the show.